Welcome to an extended edition of the Beyond Quota Minisodes, where we ask the hard-hitting, deeply philosophical, dare I say, spiritual questions about quota and beyond. Today, our special guest is someone who dominates everything from the LinkedIn universe to her own quarterly target number. Please welcome Sarah Brazier. You can catch Sarah's full episode next Tuesday, where we discuss many learnings. But for now, please enjoy our minisode.
Beyond Quota.
Why should everyone in the world be required to be an SDR?
I was gonna say something mean, and then I was like, "That's too mean."
No, this is the podcast to say mean stuff. Please.
I was gonna be like, because then you won't be a little bitch.
Absolutely. Get some perspective on the salesperson's plight. Like, get a little humility and understand how the world turns. It's because there's little SDRs out there grinding cold calls, setting up meetings. I think the world would be better off if it had that perspective.
Honestly, I think most people in the world, like if we think about the whole globe, have a lot harder life than your SDR hanging out in North America in their WeWork office with their free kombucha, making dials for 2 hours. Like,
I would rather be scavenging the desert for water.
Oh my God, that's why you're a bitch. Like, I think you need to make some cold calls because
I know I need to get back on the game. Hey, Sean, am I catching you at a bad time? We don't say am I catching you at a bad time anymore, okay?
It has like the highest hang-up rate of any opening line. Don't say it. It's so dumb.
Speaking of cold calling, can LinkedIn outreach replace cold calling?
Probably not for much longer, honestly. The LinkedIn waters of outreach have been poisoned by automation and idiocy. Now we gotta all make more dials.
I think not everybody's checking LinkedIn is the truth. Like, everybody's got the phone. And like a lot of people don't actually spend time on LinkedIn unless you're in sales.
You know, I just get really stupid messages on LinkedIn. People telling me HR software, or like this morning I woke up and some guy had sent me, "Hi. Hey. Hi. Hello?"
It's also, you can tell the fake profiles too now. They'll get like they'll get these women that are just, it's like they've got 4 connections and then they're sending out these things. And I'm like, you are a literal bot. And I know you're a bot.
But to be fair, I booked 2 meetings, not for myself, on LinkedIn last week of people just pinging me on LinkedIn.
But how much of that happened because you're Sarah the Brazier?
So the tactic changed, but inbounds happen because I post online and someone says, "Well, I like you," for whatever reason. And then I clicked on your company page and I went, "Huh." And so can you tell me more about that? Sometimes a really good one is if you get direct message from a sales leader who's trying to recruit you, it'd be like, "I would never work anywhere that doesn't have Gong."
Yeah.
And then, and then that's a good way to turn the tables. That's worked for me a good chunk of times. And then but then a lot of times it's just like, they don't know who I am, but I'm just prospecting and I read something that they wrote on LinkedIn and I comment on the post and then I like something and then I DM them about whatever they said. And then I say, "Hey, if you're posting about X, you're probably experiencing Y. Is that true?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "We've solved that problem. You can tell me no right now and I'll leave you alone, but would you want to learn more about that?" And then we just DM back and forth about it until it feels appropriate to book a meeting.
It's definitely still a useful tool. It can be useful if used correct, like any tool, if used correctly, it can be quite powerful.
What if you're messaging people, "Hi, hey, hello?" You're like, "I haven't responded to you." And then I scrolled up and it's more of those. It's just like every couple months, "Hey.
Ross, I see you're having a successful career as Sadness Corporate Bro, Stanford MBA, and we have some similar connections in the industries. Would it make sense for us to discuss synergy?" Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for a synergy call.
If you use that on a cold call or a LinkedIn message, it's probably not going to work. But it sounds like cold calling is never going to die.
No, I don't think so. Although I think things are gonna change because I think there's gonna be a bigger crackdown on how companies like scrape data and get people's phone numbers. And so it's going to be trickier. So what I really think is companies like Chili Piper, who are trying to like close the gap on inbound leads, like people coming to your website, getting them to take a meeting and getting them in front of a salesperson faster. I think that's going to be the differentiator. Because only 3% of the market is buying at any given time. 7% is open to it. So if you can get like a little bit of that 7% to go from being interested or open to it to actually actively buying, and if you can, if a CEO gets on your website and you could get that CEO on a call with an AE within the hour, instead of making them fill out a form and then an SDR reaching out to them a week later and then making them go through a shitty qualification call, if you could just get the meeting to happen, that's what I think like needs to happen with outbound or inbound or sourcing.
Thank you, Sarah, so much for joining us. I know we're a couple minutes over, but really appreciate you for sharing your insights, your thoughts, and it was a pleasure talking to you.